My wife wanted me to get a vasectomy so we could be child-free for life. 10 years later, she brought home a pair of adopted twins. It was a boy and a girl, and she asked me to raise them as my own. I complied with her request. From that moment on, I devoted myself to raising them with love and care. By the time they turned 18, they had earned admission to the 2 prestigious universities in the country. At their college entrance banquet, my wife handed me a property transfer document. She wanted me to sign over all my assets to the twins. I said yes. Just as I was handling the pen and was about to sign the documents, my mother pulled me aside, her face full of worry. Alan Dellen, these children have an unclear background. You can't just hand over everything to them, she pleaded. I responded calmly. Mom, I trust my judgment. Tears streamed down her face as she fell to her knees before me, as she begged me not to be a fool. When my father saw that her bitter pleas were in vain, he slapped me across the face in anger. You fool! You're ruining yourself! He shouted before storming off. Still, I signed the document. The moment I did, Clara Smith burst into laughter. Then, she affectionately linked arms with another man. He smirked and tossed a divorce agreement onto the table. Alan, thank you for taking care of Clara and the kids all these years. However, it's time to return them to me. Our family of 4 should finally be reunited. I let out a mirthless chuckle. Fine. The news spread like wildfire and shocked the entire city. Friends and family urged me to reconsider my decision and warned me to be cautious. Yet I ignored them all and signed everything over to the twins. When I handed over the documents, Clara could no longer contain her excitement. She laughed loudly, then turned, and with her hands linked to another man's arm, they walked toward me. Together, they handed me a divorce agreement and demanded that I leave with nothing. My mind went blank. I stared at her in disbelief, a sharp pain stabbing through my heart because I had just been betrayed by the person that I trusted the most. Now, as I stared at the divorce papers, my eyes burned with rage. I bellowed at them as my voice shook with fury. Clara, are you telling me you have been with Sean Lamar behind my back all this time? Sean was one of my employees. Sean smiled calmly. Alan, don't be upset. If you truly love Clara, shouldn't you make sacrifices for her happiness? Clara grew impatient. Just sign it already. What kind of adult drags things out like this? Isn't this tragic? Mr. Dellen had just signed over all his assets to those kids, and now she dropped the act and divorced him. I heard they had agreed to be child-free, but then Mrs. Smith suddenly adopted 2 kids, and today, this banquet was held for those 2 kids because they managed to enter the 2 most prestigious universities in the country. I suspect these twins are actually the illegitimate children of Mrs. Smith and her lover. Do you even need to question it? It's so obvious. Otherwise, why would she insist on transferring all of Mr. Dellen's assets to them? Poor Mr. Dellen. He has been jilted. Tears streamed down my mother's face. Alan, can you see? They had deceived you. Your father and I warned you long ago that this woman has evil intentions and a scheming one. She only married you for money. We even told you these twins had an unclear background, but you refused to listen. My father, who had initially left in anger, returned, his face darkened with disappointment. How could the Dellen family have such a disgraceful son? Why did you hand over all your assets to a woman? Have you lost your mind? He asked. Alan, you can't blame me for this, Clara excused. I'm a normal woman. You got a vasectomy and can't have children. I had no choice but to find someone else to have children. Clara attempted to justify her action. She wanted to point out the reason for her affair. I chuckled coldly. You were the one who feared the pain of giving birth and insisted we live child-free. I got the vasectomy for you. She cut my words. That was back then. The reality is, you're sterile and I wanted children of my own. So, I had to ask Sean. Sean bobbed his head smugly. That's right. Can a man who is sterile still be called a man? Sounds more like a eunuch to me. Laughter erupted throughout the banquet.